Good morning. It is 10:46 a.m. on Saturday, August 29th, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, real emotional whiplash for me last night. Because I had a couple of things that were putting me in a really great mood. But then, almost just right before going to bed, I saw the news that Chadwick Boseman had died. That's the actor that I think probably the most people are familiar with from playing Black Panther, King T'Challa in the Marvel movies. And apparently he had been struggling with colon cancer for 4 years, including when he was making those movies. But finally succumbed to that, lost that battle, which is obviously awful and really sad, because, he's great in those movies, and, I mean, obviously he's in other movies too, but I mean, that's the role that I primarily know him from, and yeah, it's just such a loss, and it's one of those that really, like, from the outside, feels like it comes out of nowhere, right? Like, didn't even know he was sick. It's just all of a sudden he's just gone, which is really hard. Not that it makes that any better, but in some ways I think I was really glad that I had been feeling happier before I saw, just because there can be that tendency to let bad news start to accumulate in a pile in your brain so that it starts feeling like everything is bad and that the whole world is bad and that sort of thing. And so, at least for me last night, because I had been in a better mood, I think it left me, it's not that it softened the blow, but it left me more resilient, Obviously, it's not to me to decide how sad it is, because it's pretty sad. But, I guess I was just, like, I felt fortunate there was a strange feeling of, like, relief feels like the wrong word, but there was something about it that felt like a pure emotion to me. Like, it was just sad. It wasn't, like a lot of things that are sad are emotions that are complicated by other feelings like, revulsion or anger or fear. And this one really, at least for me, was kind of just sad. And I was just feeling really in touch with my emotions, and I don't know, I just, it's like, again, it's like there's nothing, like, good about it. It's just that I felt better equipped to process the feeling last night. So, without diminishing that news at all, what I can say is that the movie that put me in such a good mood was the third Bill and Ted movie that just came out, released digitally, Bill and Ted Face the Music. This is the long-awaited third movie, coming 25 years after the second one. Just released digitally. It's still like $20 to rent it because, they're trying a thing, right? It would ordinarily be in the theaters. But I rented it, and I am so glad I did because it's wonderful. It's just a delight. It's so good-hearted and funny and all about collaboration and building up the others around you and helping out and wanting to do the right thing. And it's just so earnest and sweet. It's just, I loved it. It's very good. And having just rewatched the other two movies, I say I definitely like it even more than the second one. And it's only a little weird to compare it to the first one because, like, it's so reliant on the first one. Like, it's like you couldn't have the third one without the first one existing. So it's like, which one is better? It's almost like not a meaningful comparison to make, but it's so good is the point. It's wonderful. And watching that just had me in such a good mood that it led me to watch another movie, which I, again, just sort of love with a kind of, unfiltered joy, which is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So I was watching that, and I was just feeling really good. And that's when I saw on Twitter about Chadwick Boseman. And so, again, it's like, doesn't make that news less sad, but I'm thankful that when you have other things in your life that can balance out bad news, it makes you more able to cope. So in the meantime, I guess I'm just, thoughts and prayers, so to speak, to his family and his close friends who obviously are mourning him even far more than I am, just as someone who appreciated his acting. But yeah, so I hope all of you out there can find the things that can make you happy to help try to balance out the bad news that happens out in the world all the time. Yeah. So I'll leave it there for now, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes when it will be Sunday, so I will be continuing my rewatch of The Legend of Korra. And that's it. So in the meantime, I'll talk to you tomorrow about Legend of Korra for 5 more minutes.